Coach, congrats on your first win at Dick Dales Soccer Stadium. How does it feel to get a win on the sidelines as opposed to on the pitch?
Probably more of a relief than excitement today. I think that's quite often the case for the coach, comparatively to when you play. But again, a good defensive display at times. We would have liked to have a bit more of the game, certainly in the second half. But yeah, ultimately, Texas come up really big with one moment there late in the second half, and obviously the back three again, the defensive unit have done a really good job to nullify most of what NIU brought.
You mentioned Tikeski's sensational save in the second half. He kind of got fired up after that. What kind of value does he bring as a leader to that back line?
Yeah, it was the moment, right? It was the moment in the second half where he needed to deliver and make a world-class save, and he obviously did. So the fact that he has that in his locker, in his abilities, on top of, typically speaking, managing the game really well and being a good voice back there as well, it makes a huge difference. And again, he's been around the program for a long time and has the respect of all of his teammates. So when you can not only lead with your voice but lead by example and come up clutch in the moment like that, hopefully it gives the guys the lift that they needed in that moment in the game to obviously make us and help us get over the line for sure.
What has it taken your defense to start the season off with two clean sheets?
Everything, quite honestly. The effort physically has been incredible from the players, and we still need to improve in that area. I think the first time on Dick Dales, I was impressed with their energy levels. I thought they would tire, given it was their first game on grass, but at the same time, I think it's their fourth or fifth game, and relatively speaking, it's still so early for us in the season. So the fact that the players have been able to give the type of effort that they have over the Charlotte game and then again today to make sure that obviously we secure the win is incredible. But again, we'd like to feel like we wouldn't have to be quite as reliant on them defensively and can have the energy levels and the dominance in possession that we're training for. And like I said, we continue to improve in that area and hopefully manage games a little bit better than we did today.
Obviously, you can't win without scoring, and Tony Pineda has done quite a good job. 3 goals in 2 matches. What kind of value does he bring to your squad?
Yeah, he's a great outlet for us in the way that we play. We need variety in our attacks, and he gives us something a little bit different to other players in his position, because he's so willing to utilize his speed and run in behind at times. And obviously, the penalty kick has been caused because Tony's willingness to run in behind and stretch their back line, and then obviously great feet in the penalty area to lead to the contact and obviously the penalty itself. So yeah, he's been big for us in those first 2 games, and obviously long may it continue. But we definitely want to get him in those types of situations far more frequently than we're able to show today, and that'll be the biggest area we look to improve.
Now, without scouting yourself, obviously, you're giving up your secrets. You mentioned you want to manage the game better. You want your team to manage the game better. Would you mind expanding on that before your week off?
Yeah, I mean, I thought at times we showed some excellent football in terms of how we built from the back and our ability to possess the ball and then break their pressure, to have the potential to then exploit them defensively. But in order to exploit them, as I said, you need people who are willing to run in behind and stretch them defensively to then create space in front. And I thought first half, quite honestly, maybe with the exception of the moment from Tony for the goal, we didn't do that well enough. We built out in our own half, but then all of the play was in front of them after that period of the game. So with the system that we play, we often find ourselves in situations where it's very tempting to feel like you have to go to goal. So I think if we can manage those moments as well and feel like once we get into the attacking half that we can sustain the attack in those more advanced areas and actually, force the opponent to play much deeper for longer periods, that'll help us manage the game. It'll obviously keep the possession and keep the territory further from our goal and obviously closer to theirs. I just felt like today, when we were successful building out, we either attacked very, very quickly or it ended because, we tried to do something a little bit too difficult. And with it being so early in the season, physically, it's so hard to play that way and to play with that level of speed at times. the whole time. You have to manage it a little bit better than we did, and establish longer periods of possession in the attacking half. And yeah, that was missing at Charlotte, probably more because of what they did, and then missing today because I think the field is so big that we got almost too excited that we just had to feel like we had to go, or were compelled to go to goal, and that wasn't always the right option. So we'll review it just like we did last week, and continue to work on things and improve this week over in training for sure.
Now, 2 more from me, Coach, and then I'll let you go. Obviously, this first game at Dick Gillespie, you had the privilege of having some fans in the stands. What was that atmosphere like? Yeah,
it was great. It was great. We've missed them for sure, and it was even funny yesterday as we were preparing for the game. The number of guys that had used their full ticket allotment needed even more tickets. It was great to see people up there and obviously have the support of the fans. And yeah, obviously it wasn't just Tedeschi that was excited when he made the save. You heard the crowd get into it and be lifted in that moment as well. And we needed that. We needed that today. So yeah, it was really nice to, if you like, for 90 minutes just there, almost forget about COVID entirely and feel like there was some sense of normalcy. And as I said, this group deserves that, and have been craving that for a very long time now.
You got a nice 8-day break until you head out to Western Michigan. What's the plan for the next week ahead?
As I said, to improve. Obviously, the boys now need to recover. We're still not where we need to be physically. And again, thankfully, today was the first time in a long time we had almost the entire squad available. So there were more substitutions, more rotation of players, which was important today. But as I said, we will continue to analyze our games and be as objective as we can, and continue to try and improve. Whether we'd have won or lost today, quite honestly, we'd have tried to approach the next 3 days with the same mentality that this group is still really, really young, and you need these games and you need those experiences. And we'll learn from today and hopefully continue to get better as the week progresses.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia.
Of course. Zach, do you have any questions, or are you all set?
I have just one quick question for Coach. What specific qualities of your team gives you confidence moving forward through your really tough conference schedule?
Well, obviously over the first 2 games, the defensive effort, the personnel that we've had defensively, and what they've done to keep 2 clean sheets, even with us being under a lot of pressure, conceding some opportunities and conceding more shots and territory than I would like us to do. The fact that we've stood up to those 2 tests definitely can fill the guys with a lot of confidence. I really am a big believer in the importance of clean sheets and how valuable they are. So having the 2 shutouts over the first 2 games is huge. And as I said, we need to get to a point where we're less reliant on that and those defensive players, and are able to have more possession and have more attacking opportunities and create more chances on the other end, so that we can give them a bit more of a rest, quite honestly.
Thank you very much.
No problem.